What's good, everybody? It's your boy SBX coming with you with another gaming review, and this time I want to talk about Metal Gear Solid, pretty much the Phantom Pain. Now, this game, I know it's old. It was released back in 2015 or whatever. I copped the game a year after its release, and I never really got a chance to do a full game review based on this game. But, however, I'm doing it right now, and I'm giving you pretty much my intake about how Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain is all about. Now, when I was younger, when it first released, the first Metal Gear Solid game was released on the PlayStation 1 format. I never really owned the game, and also I played the ones for the PlayStation 2, and I never really got a chance to finish that one. And unfortunately, I don't even have that game anymore when it comes to the PlayStation 2 one. But, however, with the Metal Gear Rising, I feel like that was the best game thus far because of Raiden, and I'm also into, Samurai Warriors, ninjas, and stuff like that. So it really took the cake when it comes to that series. But that was for the PlayStation 3 for Metal Gear Rising. But anywho, you play as Snake, pretty much the main protagonist through the whole Metal Gear series. Now, to be honest, this game has some decent graphics. It enhanced it. It's better than the original Metal Gear Solid, where you can't even barely see their faces and all that, because it's an old format since it was a PlayStation 1 and kind of like the 2 or whatever. So, to be honest, the Metal Gear Solid game, it gets you to where you have to think and strategize, and pretty much almost all the Metal Gear Solid games is referring to just being sneaky, doing self-attacks, and be patient with this game. You got some motherfuckers who will take their time to get one of the enemy soldiers, and they will try to feel like it'll be an easy way for them to get caught, won't get caught. So I feel like it's just like playing any other stealth game. You just gotta crouch down or crawl, or however you want to do it. Let people don't see you like if you're a ghost or something like that. You gotta be ghost. You gotta be like a phantom. You gotta be unrecognizable. You can't let nobody see you. So I have the deluxe edition with the other Metal Gear Solid, which is the Ground Zero. So because that's the previous year of the final work that Kiwami had did with the Metal Gear Solid. So pretty much it's set back to the 1980s, 9 years after the event of Ground Zero, a decade before the event. The Metal Gear, the story follows up with Venom and Snake. He ventures into the Soviet Union and accompanied with Afghanistan and Angola Zaire, the border regions or whatever. So he tried to revenge on the people who destroyed his forces and came closer to killing him as well. So it's pretty much a vengeful plot, and it has some real crazy cinematic scenes and fighting against these attackers and some type of zombie monsters. Kind of like, I can't even tell if I'm playing Metal Gear Solid or some zombie games at times, because it's a mixture. So honestly, this game, like I said, it's interesting, but I took a very long hiatus playing this game, but I never gotten a chance to do a review or whatever. But of course, I'm going to have to express my pros and cons about it. So the pros is it's a good game as far as it has some decent graphics. as far as the combat skills is pretty good. I like the fact that you can do like the military style when you just crawl down and crouch on the crouch down, and you know, let people know that you can't be seen unless you want to be seen. Just like any other Metal Gear Solid games, it's just the regular format to either, you know, hide through the boxes or whatever the case may be, you know. And also, if you kept on dying, kept on losing, what you see here is I'm wearing the chicken hat or whatever. I'm like, damn, I hate when they do that. So I kind of think they just doing it for people who just either really that pussy on this game, or they, you know, they keep dying like you're an easy target. So I guess it's a joke. You know, it's always been like that with the other Metal Gear Solid games, but except the Metal Gear Rising. But I feel like, in my opinion, they should make another Metal Gear Rising game, you know. And you know, there's so many previous events with Snake, and between when he was younger and when he's older, you know, he lost his hand and, you know, all that shit, you know. Or better yet, you know, like I said, just focus on the Metal Gear Rising. And I feel like Metal Gear Rising is a lot better. It's a lot better game than Metal Gear Solid series, you know. It's just that with me, you gotta be very patient with this game, unless you know, for example, if you want to play like some Splinter Cell type of shit or whatever, you sneak onto people and see if you can get like somebody to translate what the soldiers are saying, but it's not really that necessary. At times you can try to look for the main boss to, you know, do some dirt or whatever, but if they caught you slipping, of course the whole, you know, exclamation point when they found out, damn, what the fuck happened, this, you know, intruder. And you know, the cool thing is, it's like they do this slow motion shit, and you get some time to shoot motherfuckers quick, and then, you know, rather if you're back into the norm, or these guys are preparing to shoot or throwing a lot of bombs at you, so it gets very intense. So realistically, the cons, like I said, it's like I'm a type of guy who going for action, you know, just shoot motherfuckers as possible. But you know, sometimes in order to really know how to play this game, you gotta do more stealth attacks than you are doing with other games. Like, you know, most people have this, you know, idea, like when you play like an army game or anything that deals with shooting games, you just go for the shooting. I mean, yeah, you do go shooting eventually, but in most stages where you're somewhere outside and you're in some type of military base or whatever, you gotta let people know, like, you know, yo, it's time for you to be quiet. You gotta do a clean kill when it comes to, you know, trying to eliminate enemy soldiers or whatever. So, you know, you're trying to go with the Russian, the people from the Soviet Union and all that. You know, you gotta play like a fucking spy. You know, that's what Venomous. I'm sorry. That's how Snake do. Venomous Snake. That's how his style is. You know, this guy is the type of guy who takes action. You know, so pretty much like into details. It's like the Phantom Pain is more like an adventure game, and you know, also it has the online, and then you can actually shoot games through third-person shooter, or to when you shoot a gun, when you try to gain like for example, if you're trying to get close range, it may look like you're doing a first-person shooter, and that's what I like, and that's the biggest pros that I like about this game, is they stick to their format, because it would be really retarded if Metal Gear Solid was a first-person shooter game, and that's going to be boring. How can you ever see what you're doing? I mean, me personally, I like games that are sensible if it's worth being first person shooters or not. Like, if you're gonna set up between just only first person shooter only and the game doesn't make any sense, I will get bored and I will not fuck with it. So I think as far as everything goes, where you know what you're doing, the gameplay, the plot, it's really convincing, but I don't really have too much of a con. My thing is, you just got to be very, very patient with this game. So sometimes if you're impatient and you just want to go for the kill, you can do that. But if you want to play like a master and have good ranks, you got to follow up of how you do things in this game, you know, because you don't want to have no bullshit E rank or whatever. Like, you want to get an A, B, or an S rank or whatever. I think you just get the highest good rank you might get is an S rank, I think, you know, if I'm not mistaken. So based on the Metal Gear Solid games, like I said, like, you have your online session, which I don't really bother with that, but I just most likely focus on the main story. So, you know, that's just my intake about how I feel about Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, and I want to just break it down for you guys that, you know, this game is pretty good in my opinion. So I'm glad that Konami actually released this game 3 years ago, and I wish that they will make another Metal Gear Rising game, because Raiden is like one of my favorite characters during the Metal Gear series. So anyways though, folks, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I would like to know anybody else's comments on the comment sections below, what they think about the game, and if you have the game or if you want to purchase this game, go right ahead on purchasing the game, and also leave your comments on the comment sections below, like and subscribe. Until then, folks, holla at your boy. SPX wrapping this up. Thanks for watching. Peace out.